Okay, so let's see if it's on. All right, fantastic. There we go. Well, that's not good. There we go. Okay. All right, cool. We're all good. We're live. Fantastic. I know we're a little bit early tonight, guys, but I've got this cool character that I'm going to be working on for a character creation course starting in April. And I have been struggling to try to find time to work on this between my normal job and creating normal one-off content for YouTube. So I figured, you know what? Tonight we're going to sculpt on this character and you guys can hang out and maybe get a little preview of the course and how it's going to go down. So thanks for hanging out, and yeah, let's get started. So I'm just going to be working on this, and any questions that you guys have, you're more than welcome to ask. So what we need to do here is close this in. Now, I've already done the base, and I've already kind of shaped out some of the model so that we have our basic form done for the most part. Like I could probably go a little bit further and scale this out, maybe something like that, I don't know, to give us a little puffy sleeve or whatever. Hey Army, how you doing? How's California right now? Yeah, so so this is gonna be a character for the course that we've got coming out soon, and it's actually really fun, but I paid for this. I paid for this concept art, so if it looks a little better than normal, there's a reason. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and hide the head here, and I'll just fill that and inset it, and that should be fine. Yeah. Alright, so we've got the basics of the shirt, and that's okay. Need to come down here and do that same thing, though. So, how's California right now with the, are you guys on lockdown too, or is pretty much everything shut down? There we go. Yep. Alright, cool. And we'll go ahead and shut the hands down. Get this thing going here. We can just fill that. I don't really need to inset it, but I will. You're pretty much like the rest of the country, locked down somewhat. Schools are closed, colleges, regular schools. Eateries are still open, takeout only. And more stores are open as well. That's cool. Yeah, that's kind of where we're at. We, up in Minnesota, they're basically like, everybody shut down, you're fine, but don't go outside. Alright, let's go ahead and hide these boots. Okay. So fill that and inset it. It's just the top. Do the same thing on the bottom here. Alright, so basically all I'm doing right now is finishing up the like the base layer for sculpting. So that way when I sculpt this, I'm not going to accidentally mess up the general form when I start playing around with dynamic topology. So you're not worried about the virus, you're more worried about the mass panic of people. I get that. I'm not really worried about the virus either. Like I guess worried is definitely not how I would describe myself. More like taking precautions, you know what I mean? Like, I am totally fine staying inside and not doing anything. And I love the fact that now I'm working from home. So, like, I don't have to go into the office. I can do my entire job in sweatpants, which is what I've been telling my boss to let me do, basically, since I started there. But now there's, like, a legit reason for me to do that, which is pretty fantastic. I'll be honest. I quite like that. Okay. So, let's go back in here, and all I'm gonna do really, I'm just gonna fill this in. That should be fine, and that's basically it. I guess I can finish up these hands. This hand took me forever to do with the skin modifier. And like I almost don't want to sculpt it because I know I'm gonna mess it, but I'm gonna mess it up, but whatever. Yeah, my boss is it's pretty great. Some of the old guys that I work with don't enjoy working from home at all. But I love it. I hate going into the office because I gotta pay money, right? Like you either drive your car and you pay money via gas, and then you gotta sit in an office all day, and like there's not enough work to do all day, right? And so many people in the office, if they're quick at their job, are just like sitting on their phone and checking what's going on, and I hate doing that, man. Let me do my work, my 4 or 5 hours worth of actual work that I have to do, and then go home. And that, yeah, this company doesn't like that. And I actually got a call from like contracting boss who basically told me like, listen, the company's gonna be checking how long people are logged in because they don't trust the fact that you're doing your job since you're working from home. And I was like, whatever, dude. But that's just such a weird concept to me. Like, I'm gonna do my work. Leave me alone. Alright, cool. Let's start sculpting this head. So, if we look at this from the side, basically all I want to do right now is turn on dynamic topology, and while I would agree and say constantly you should never sculpt in orthographic mode, I am currently going to sculpt in orthographic mode. Because I just need to pull out these vertices and like these sections. So I'm just doing it to shape the model. I'm not actually going to be sculpting this way. So that's kind of giving me the head shape that I was looking for. There we go. Something like that. And I can obviously come in here and fix that. We can bring out that throat a little bit. Okay, cool. So now I have like successfully mapped out this guy's head. And so now I can sculpt here without problems. Gosh, I really love this character. I gotta say, people on Fiverr are pretty freaking talented. Because I gave this lady a very, very basic character outline, and she was like, alright, I got you. That's drawing on the 3D cursor. Dang it. Alright, let's change that to surface. Okay, so we're just gonna map out kind of where thirds should be. There's like the bottom of the nose, and then the chin. Yeah. Okay, cool. So definitely check out Fiverr. I'm pretty happy with the work that I got overall from them. Okay, and do something like that real quick. Smooth that out. Oh, let's turn this junk off. Yeah, there we go. That's roughly the size of our head here. And we can go ahead and smooth this down. And actually, let me go grab that smooth brush here real quick. Drop that strength down to like 0.5. And that should be fine. I just want to smooth down this head so it's not so blocky. That's too far. We've gone too far on that neck thing. You use Fiverr for emotes on Discord and Twitch. Ah, that's smart. That's a good use of Fiverr. Fiverr, not fiber. That's something I would have never thought about. But it does that makes sense. That makes sense for sure. Okay. So let's actually pull this nose out just a bit further. Cheaper and easier to get them than way easier to get emotes. That makes sense. That definitely makes sense. It's just something I never would have thought about. Okay, now this muscle isn't necessarily going into the model. Maybe it will. I don't know. Maybe we'll do something like that. What am I currently listening to? Alright, it's not that bad. I actually like that. Alright, so when we look at his face from the front, he does have a jawline that kind of comes out a bit further. So I'm just going to pull this out just a bit, not a whole lot. And his chin isn't super pointy, so let's flatten that out, round that out. I mean, he does have a pronounced chin. He's not like me. My chin kind of doesn't exist. I think that's because I have a little bit of an underbite. But I have more of a chin with a beard than without a beard. You know what I mean? I'm that kind of guy. Alright, so we can go ahead and pull this down. Everything like that, that's fine. Come in here and smooth this out. You have a pronounced beard, that's why. Well, you know. This is my chin. This is my real chin. I make no shame. I'm no shame. I can't even speak English. I have no shame about my my lack of chin. Honestly, it's probably because I'm fat. But when I went back and looked at pictures when I was a kid, and like I had the same no chin thing when I was a kid. So, and I was not as fat. So maybe I just don't have a chin, which is weird. I've always thought like I have a manly chin, but that's not the case at all. Alright, we're gonna pull this nose, or this skin around his cheeks back a bit. Probably can inflate this section just a little bit more. And kind of give myself a real bone here. Talk about a weird looking nose. Let's pull this in. Okay, and his brow needs to come out a bit more, so let's do this. Having reference art when you sculpt is always awesome. And I don't usually have it because I can't draw, and I don't have anybody that I work with that can draw super well. Except my wife, but she doesn't want to do that for me. for whatever reason. Oh, I should be using the elastic deform brush for this. There we go. That's what I wanted. Pull this up a little bit. Kind of happy with that. The problem, so here's the thing, right? This is for a character creation course that I'm going to be doing. It starts in the, it'll start in April. But, like, I'm not going to be able to recreate the same model again. It's not going to happen. It's going to be totally different. And I don't know how to feel about that. I need to broaden this. There we go. And then kind of push that nose into the face. Cool. So we can kind of get the basic shape of the ear here just by doing something like that, actually. Which isn't a bad way of doing it, but it's certainly not what most people would expect. Certainly not how, like, I ever thought to do ears in the first time. I watched a couple of YouTubers that were pretty cool with it. I feel like these ears are probably good. But I don't know, man. Here, yeah. Let's play my actual streaming playlist. Alright, we're just trying something here because if I add in a UV sphere, and apply a mirror to that, I just want to be able to create eyes like realistically. Alright, something like that, I think. Probably fine. Maybe put him back in the head just a bit. Alright, cool. The geography teacher gave us 70-page PowerPoint to take notes on. It's just a shame that she made a PowerPoint that is 70 slides. Oh, I made a PowerPoint once that was pretty gnarly. So, I kind of feel that. I feel, yeah, 70-page PowerPoint, like, seems like a lot, but when you have a lot of information to cover, it can be not enough. That's not to say it normally is, but it can be not enough. Okay. Those eyelids look like trash. Let's try it again. Well done. 80 points higher than your last test. Congratulations. You're still deciding to be a teacher, huh? That is admirable. Alright, what the heck's going on here? Why? Let me hide these eyes real quick. That's what's going on there. That's a weirdness. But well done scoring an 80. Or 80 points higher than your last test. I don't know. I hate that, but I'll come back to it. That's fine. We'll leave it for now. I don't know. Eyelids are hard. But, okay. Let's take a look at... let's do these mouth details a little bit. And touch up this nose. So, grab the inflate brush here. Kind of smooth that area down. Maybe bring out a little bit of a nose flare here. Maybe do something like that. Yep, I'm good with that. And then this nose or the mouth comes out a little bit. So let's smooth that down. We're gonna contour his nose like the new makeup fads. Nah. Alright, and then basically just something like that. Okay, so he's got this duck lip thing going on, which I guess I'll fix that. We'll flatten that out. That's better, for sure. Also feel like maybe his lip should be a little bit more, a little less like browned, I guess, is the word that I'm looking for. But let me grab the scrape brush here. And just kind of yeah, he definitely has some eye bags. I don't like that. We'll just deflate these eyelids a bit to give a more smooth feel to them. That looks better, but now he's got these like super brows. There we go. Yeah, it definitely looks a lot better. Fix up that temple a little bit. Yeah, and he doesn't have any hair, but that's okay. It's okay for right now. I feel like, though, this section needs to come out just a bit. So let's pull that out a bit and smooth it down and see if we can kind of build a easier transition throughout all of this. Definitely better. That is definitely better. Okay. So let me come in here with the crease brush a little bit and kind of touch up this jawline and behind the ear. Yeah, the bottom of the jaw isn't finished, but we're gonna come in here and patch this up. Welcome to the stream, Eclipse. Alright, and that muscle got way too prominent. Let's can smooth that out significantly. But actually, I feel like maybe the better option here would just be I grab it and pull that mesh. Because there we go. He does have an Adam's apple, but it's not very profound. And then overall, most of his neck and the collar are going to be hidden by the shirt. So, and this character's never going to be shirtless, at least not in anything I have in mind for him. So we're not going to do a whole body. We're just going to do... You're on slide 23 out of 70. Send help. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Army. You got this, though. That's what all this isolation time is for. And, you know what? We'll just put a tiny little Adam's apple in here. Come down that way. Smooth that down. Oh, that is rough. How old is this professor? That you're having to deal with this junk right now. Smooth out that transition. '40s, maybe late 40s. So she's been teaching long enough to have developed my class's important syndrome. Or my class is the only class we've got. I've been there. I worked with some teachers like that. They're not very fun. Yeah. There we go. It's not a very good shape of the back of the head, to be honest. I just kind of squeezed it together. But the dude's got a super blocky head, so it's kind of going to work out, I hope. Yeah, I didn't sculpt this like from nothing or from a quad sphere. I made a base using the skin modifier, and I just kind of left it how I made it, because honestly, with his square head, like if you look at him, right, it's a pretty square head overall. I figured that would be fine. And we'll hide the head with the hair a little bit. I know it's important to have a solid... Oh, that's weird. I know it's important to have a solid base done before you start sculpting and everything, but... Just kind of smooth this down a little bit overall. I don't want to see any, like... I don't really want to see any full lines or, like, hard lines on the head. So we can kind of do that right there. And at this point, I will save it. But, dang it. Oh, dang it. Ugh. Forgot to make my backups. Forgot to make my backups, which is not great. But, whatever. We've saved it. That's fine. We do this live, dang it. We'll do it live. Thank you. Thank you, Eclipse. I've been working on heads recently. The one thing, I gotta say, the thing that I still don't really have down are like the eyelids and the mouth. Excuse me. I don't have corona. The eyelids and the mouth. That's like really tough detail stuff, and I'll be honest and say that like my skills are lacking in that area. But, you know what we're going to do? We're going to drop in one final little detail here, and it's this, like, weird little ingrown piece. Or not, it's not ingrown, but that weird little thing that we all have. There we go. Hi, Russian name or Cyrillic name. I can't pronounce. I'm going to assume that says Alexander, but... That's because I don't speak your language. I'm sorry. What's your actual name, or like what is your English translation of your username so I can address you? But welcome to the stream. If that didn't make you go, I'm getting out of here. Pig beard is weird. Alex Sale. Okay, Alex, welcome to the stream, good sir. Hope you're having a good day. Hope you're staying healthy and away from the virus. I hope that for you too, Army, and for Eclipse. I didn't say that for you guys earlier, but I hope that's the case. All right, I'm gonna stop messing with that before I accidentally break everything, because that would suck. So Alex, what brings you to the stream? Gosh, that actually is really good. I impressed myself, because I'm not usually super good at this. He says, knowing that he's got a whole YouTube channel dedicated to his awesomeness. Oy vey. Yeah, man, you too. All right, shirt or pants next. You know what? We're gonna go with the hand, because the shirt we have to model a little bit before we do anything with it, and then the pants we have to do a little bit more before we sculpt them. But clothing sculpting sucks. It's not my favorite. This is not my favorite. There's so many other things that like you just have to consider and like get in there with wrinkles and not great. I'm not good at it. But skin and whatever, I can deal with that. So, going to start dynamic topology. Yep, that's fine. Brush detail is okay. And we just want to inflate, but on a really low strength, because what we're trying to do here is just add in some more topology. That's it. That's all we're trying to do. So we're not trying to add in tons and tons of detail at this point in time. All we're trying to do is get that nice, smooth looking skin. Go away, pants. And shirt, for that matter. Yeah, I'm glad you guys are good in California. People were absolutely crazy up here, though. Absolutely going crazy in the stores. And just, like... all in all, I would say people have been crazy over the whole situation of their like the pandemic and all of that and whatever. Like most of us are gonna be fine, but it's the old people that we gotta worry about. So like my wife and I have decided to reschedule our trip down to Florida because we were gonna go see her grandparents, and even though we might not get sick, you know, we don't want them to get sick and be the cause of their untimely demise, you know? It's kind of a morbid way of looking at it, but it's kind of the truth. It's what we were thinking about. I just shared it. I have killed many things in video games, but I would kind of hate to be the cause of someone's death in real life. Okay, now I don't really want to go too detailed here on these fingers, mostly because you're probably not going to see them, to be honest, that well. But I want to get detailed enough to where if I were to do something like Wreck-It Ralph hands, or it's just like basically squares, that you would get the detail. Sure, Eclipse. What's the joke? All right, so let's do something like this right here. Give us a little bit of a knuckle. Message retracted. What did the plate say to the other plate? Oh man, what did the plate say to the other plate? I don't know. What do you say? I was gonna take a guess, but I don't think I would be able to get it. Dinner is on me. Ah, so good. So good. I was gonna actually, my guess was gonna be my guess was gonna be like you have food on you or something like that. So I was at least in the right ballpark. All right, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna create the pad of our hand, which kind of comes out in this direction and down here. So I'm letting my hand hang loose. I'm gonna boost up the pad here of the hand. Smooth that down. All right, and we've got a pad on the other side, so we'll take this up. There's a little bit like this. And we can smooth that down. All right, and that's giving us that little V that we have in our hand. It's not great yet, not perfect yet at all, but we're getting there. Maybe I should increase this a little bit. Dinner is on me, man. That's so good. That's so good. That's so good that, like, if I said that to my wife, she would roll her eyes and be like, I can't believe I married you. And then she would laugh because she doesn't want to encourage me in my bad jokes, but she also finds them funny. So okay, and we have a couple of other pads in our hands. So like if you look at your hand, I don't know if you guys have it in your hand, but like I've got that M in my hand, so that's kind of what I'm trying to recreate here. So if I were gonna lightly mark this out with the crease brush, right, it would kind of come in like this, and then it would there would kind of be another one that goes across like this, and then they would kind of meet in the middle, something like that. So now you can see that I've made that thing there, so I can kind of put the pads in those directions because we're making essentially my hand. Them fingers need some trimming. They do. Well, we will trim those fingers down. Just like pump up the meat there. Pump it up. Look at that. It's the master hand. All right, so we do need to decrease these fingers a little bit. Just a little bit. Ah, beard hair in my mouth. All right, so we're gonna deflate these a little bit, and we're gonna come around here and just go the whole length of the finger, but making sure to stick towards the end of the hand here. Now, realistically, for the tutorial, what I'm gonna have to make sure we do is shrink down that finger before we get to this point, because you don't want to be shrinking down the finger at this point. You kind of want to have that done already. So we'll chalk that up to I made a mistake, but we're not going back to fix it because we're doing it live. All right. All right, there we go. It's not great, not perfect. So you're gonna have yaoi hands. What are yaoi hands? What are yaoi hands? I'm gonna look that up. I didn't need to know that existed. Well, apparently my wife told me not to look it up, but I can't hear her because I've got music playing in my ears. Okay. Interesting. That's just strange. That is just strange. Yaoi hands. Get out of here. Large hands with lanky fingers. Yeah. It's a thing. It can be a thing. It's just not a thing that I wanted to know about. Alright, so we'll deflate both sides here. Go to the inside. Deflate. Smooth out. There we go. You're gonna question it every time you sculpt fingers now. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm definitely gonna question whether or not I'm sculpting yaoi hands every single time. Every single time. I don't want to think about that. But now I'm gonna. Ugh. Whatever. Whatever. I'm gonna do my best to forget that, Army. I do my best. I'm pretty good at forgetting things. I don't remember almost half of what I do. Which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I'm gonna go with a good thing. Because it means that I'm very easy, like a very forgiving person. Because I just don't remember it. Okay. And we want to smooth this down a little bit. Come over here, smooth this down a little bit. There we go. All right. Yeah, definitely should have removed or sculpted these or shrunk these fingers before. I'll make sure we do that in the tutorial for sure, because trying to explain to people how to do this in a way that looks good will be way too difficult, because I'm not even sure I'm gonna do that. Between the fingers is a bit weird. You're right. Actually, what that needs is to be kind of inflated a little bit. And if I'm looking between my fingers, there's like a slight webbing. This would be one of those times when like I'm doing anatomy and sculpting a hand, and then as I'm like talking about it and looking at myself for a reference, I find out that I'm a weirdo. It's like a genetic weirdo. I just feel like that's a possibility. Alright, so I have this like weird little webbing that kind of, not from there, from here, that kind of comes out, and when you look at it from the top, now I realize I'm a genetic weirdo. Yes, now I realize I'm a genetic weirdo. Wasn't the pink beard or anything, or the fact that I have basically no chin. There we go. Alright, we want to smooth that down because I don't want there to be that hexagonal line here. Or however many octagonal line, whatever. I don't want there to be a hard line on my hand. There you go. Okay. Will you add a net type between the fingers? No, probably not. Oh, I forgot about the thumb. Alright, so we're gonna deflate the thumb a little bit. Maybe that's too much. Alright, so now we can put in these little creases. That crease is wrong. Oh, let's grab the elastic deform brush because this brush is amazing. And we're just gonna shrink up this area. There we go. Okay, goodbye. Good luck making yaoi hands. No! No, I don't want to make yaoi hands. Have a good night, Eclipse. Okay. Alright, cool. And the final piece, I can kind of see it, right? Thumbnail, like right there. So let's do that. Let's grab this, and we'll go real light strength, and we'll just pump on the perimeter for a thumbnail. And then kind of crease in our thumbnail. Yeah, so it goes like that, sort of. And then it kind of comes out. Kind of comes out. So, what we can actually do... Ah! Sculpting on the finger behind me. Or behind the thumb. It's not... Don't have corona. Something... Phlegm. It's phlegm. Okay. So, let's grab the scrape brush. And just kind of scrape this down. Yeah. And then we can smooth that out. And there we basically have a thumbnail. But let's make it a little bit more prominent. That's we're going to start out with a Shrek-looking thumbnail. And then just kind of pull it down and out. There you go, maybe something like that. Smooth that down a little. Do we need a thumbnail on this? No, but I want one, so I'm making one. And that is what art is all about. You do it your way. Alright, so we'll smooth out that thumbnail so that way it doesn't look lumpy. But there we go. There we go. We have a thumbnail. It works. It's good. Doesn't really matter if we do them. But I may have put myself in a pickle because now I've got a thumbnail on the thumb and I don't have that on the other fingers. And I kind of don't want to do that for the other fingers. But I've already done it for one, so we're going to do it for the rest of them. Yay. Alright, so my index finger is a little weird, and the nail doesn't come out straight. So I guess what we'll do, we'll just draw this out real quick. Something like, not that, not all of that over there. And, yeah. Just repeat that process. That would come in here with a crease brush, make a pretty decent crease in here. And smooth out all of that. And then take a grab brush and just kind of pull this out. Smooth that down. This dude's gonna have some thick thumbnails. Alright, and then the scrape brush, and we'll scrape this thumbnail down. Man, I got this really cool add-on called Speed Sculpt that I've been looking to try for Blender. And it's supposed to make sculpting like super quick, super easy. But I don't want to stream with it yet because I just haven't gotten the hang of it. So until I get the hang of it, we will be avoiding it. But it's supposed to make everything pretty great. There we go. Something like that. That nail bed looks... Maybe that finger just looks a little long. Finger's too long. I know what you mean now. Kind of wish I didn't, but I know what you mean now. They were yaoi hands. Or at least that was a yaoi finger. Okay, and I feel like the natural point here for one side, for that side is like right here, and then the next one is like right here. Yeah, those are the natural points for this finger, I feel. But now I also feel like this finger may be a bit too long, so elastic deform brush, and we'll just kind of shrink up that finger. There we go. That is definitely better. That is definitely better on those fingers. Thumbnail looks a little weird though, but that's because we deformed it, so let's fix that up a little bit. Got a tutorial on the elastic thumbnail brush coming out very soon. It's actually one of my new favorite brushes. Super useful too. Okay, there we go. That's fine. Okay, so definitely gonna make more of an emphasis on get your hands perfect before you get into sculpting. Definitely gonna make an emphasis on that. You know what, Army? I'm even gonna call them yaoi hands. You don't want to end up with yaoi hands unless you're making yaoi, and then we're just gonna move on. So you're gonna get a shout out in my next tutorial, or in this tutorial series. So well done, well done. You freaked me out enough. You're getting a shout out. Okay, elastic deform brush again. We're gonna shrink down this hand a bit, like that. There we go. That's probably better, but there we go. All right, let's put in those creases. Hey, Francie. Welcome to the stream, dude. This is what we've been working on. We got our characters for the character creation course coming out pretty soon. And this is the head that we sculpted today. And then we've been working on these hands. Mostly because I don't want to sculpt clothing today. I'm not a huge fan of doing that. It needs to be done, I get that, but I just don't like it. Thank you. Okay, so if here is the crease for where the finger goes, then somewhere like here is there, and then something like that. All right, and this, honestly, this whole section, we might move up a little bit like that. And then we can kind of smooth this out. There we go. Okay. And then because the crease goes there, then we'll probably say the thumbnail's gonna stop there. I'm actually really happy with that head too, if I'm honest. That's probably the best head I've ever sculpted. Oh, but we're getting back into it, so it's great. Thanks for everyone who is currently stopping by. I know you're not chatting, but that's okay. Hope you're having a good time, staying safe in this crazy pandemic. All right, so another fingernail here, because I just decided that I was doing fingernails tonight, like an idiot. All right, so we're gonna pull these down a little bit, just to give us the space away. Smooth it out with the surrounding finger. And that's basically good. The last things we need to do I'm gonna build up a section going around thumbnail for just like extra skin. Something like that. Alright, and that's basically that. Alright, just scraping away at that thumbnail so we can smooth it down and it's not so crazy. And the thumbnail is too long, so here's what we'll do. Grab and pull, and then actually we're going to widen that out a little bit. There we go. Is it perfect? No. Is it good enough? Yeah. Yeah, it is. Just don't like the thickness of this finger. Alright, so we've got a natural curve going on like right there, and we'll have another one right about there. Probably. It is a reference image, but technically in Blender 2.8, reference images and background images are basically the exact same thing. The only difference between them is the default settings that you can have. Because I believe, let me go ahead and save real quick. Like if we check out the tool settings for the background image, the only difference between this reference image and the background image is the ability to just like set it to be always in front or always behind, and they just have a different setting over here when you add them into your scene, but they really don't matter. There's really not that much difference between them. You can kind of just use it however. Alright, so there we go. Realistically, let's move this up a little bit and this up a little bit and smooth out that area between them. And there's the thumbnail area. Something like that. Ah, dynamic topology got turned off. That dude's fingernail is crazy. Alright. Let's kind of flatten this down a little bit. And we'll deflate, and then we'll smooth. And then I can add this crease in here. Alright, and the last pinky fingernail. I'm done. Okay. So, let's put those creases in first. Actually, let me go ahead. And deflate this finger because it's, I think, a little too fat. If only I could do that to myself. Just grab the deflate brush. Pinkbeard fixes obesity. Deflate brush. That'd be fantastic. Alright, and there's probably a curve right about there and right about here. Something like that is fine. Something like there. Okay, so back to layout. We've got hands, we've got the head. Let's bring out those pants because I don't want to do the shirt. Before I do this though, I did close up those bottoms, right? Yeah. Okay, cool. So I've already kind of mapped out the pants based on my reference image, which is why sculpting with a reference image is so great, just because you know, you do have the added advantage of seeing the proportions that you need, but you're not always able to. I get that. I'm in that boat a lot. But we're gonna have to do this, so let's go ahead and apply that mirror modifier. And now I can sculpt on both sides of my object. Now, before we do anything, we're gonna inflate, and we're gonna get a better booty in here. So, but dynamic topology is off. So, And I just want to basically pull this butt so that he actually has one, you know? That's all I really want to do. But thankfully, we got a lot of the work overall that we would have had to do done early because we, there we go, kind of flatten this out, because we got a really good base mesh. So there's not a whole lot that we really need to do. We can kind of make his butt go out a little bit further, but that's about as far as I want to take that. But the, I guess the seam of his pants comes all the way down here. So we will go ahead and take this down just so it matches the front. Hey, Star Brothers, welcome to the stream. Do I want to hear a joke? Sure, why not? Tell me a joke. What did the plate say to the other plate? Dinner's on me. Somebody came in here with that joke earlier tonight. Up yo joke game. Good try though. Try again. Tell me a different joke. It's okay. Let me find a joke. Make your wife say, why did I even marry you? Got it. There we go. That'll be good. Yeah, these pants need to come way out. Let's go ahead and hide the head and the hands because I don't need to see them while I'm working on these pants. But these pants need to come way out because no man's pants just go down like that. Nobody's pants in general go down like that. That's kind of better. Okay. Okay, so we're just trying to get rid of all of the angles right now on this on these pants, because there aren't hard lines in clothing, hardly ever. Why shouldn't you write with a broken pencil? Is it because it has no point? Or something because there's no point? Is that it? My wife says up your game. Up your joke game. Those are too easy. Try again, man. Try again. Alright, cool. So, that's where we're at, right? That's kind of where we're okay at. Yeah. The only thing I'm not okay with right now on these pants is just, I don't like how it does. Yeah, I need it to come down and bag a bit. Pants always come down in bag, or generally come down in bag. Okay, so the next step, right? That's kind of okay. There's not a lot of wrinkles going on here in these pants. They're kind of skin tight. But what we can do is we can kind of bunch up these at the bottom. So for that, I'm going to need a different reference image. See what that brings us up. Never know what you're going to get with... There we go. With Google. Alright, so at this point, I'm going to go ahead and turn off... whatever, we'll leave it on. We're going to turn off mirroring, so that way they weren't, like, perfectly mirrored, because perfect symmetry doesn't really make sense. But we can go ahead and do a little bit of bunching. Let's say we bunch it over on over in the front here, because it's coming forward. So when did I turn on smooth stroke? So we can kind of do something like this. And this will hopefully look like a full wrinkle in a jean. And if it doesn't, we'll just smooth it out and do it again. Or just say he doesn't have wrinkles in his jeans. That's the kind of character he is. His jeans are just always not wrinkly. You know what? I'm actually going to get rid of that. I don't like it. I don't like it, and I'll be honest right now. I don't want to do clothing sculpting. But I was able to get the overall feel, and that's good. Is there anything else that I feel like it needs to have, though? Like maybe a crease. Maybe a crease coming down here, like maybe a crease in the clothing coming down like that. Kuya, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing hope you're having a good day. Alright, so we got a clothing little piece here, and maybe we'll get a clothing fold here. I'm doing alright. We've got a little bit of sculpting done, which is nice. And now we're doing clothing sculpting, which is not nice. There we go. Why do we tell actors to break a leg? Oh, Star, I think you might have got me. I don't know, Star, why? Why do we tell actors to break a leg? And Kuya, what brings you to the stream? Glad you're here, but curious. Alright, let's take this down. We'll do something like that, and then... Because every play has a cast! Oh my gosh! Well done. Well done. One dad point. I should do that. We should do that. That should be a thing now. We do dad points for dad jokes.
Why do you keep encouraging them?
I encourage them because I enjoy their jokes. Gosh. My wife is like, "Why am I encouraging you guys?" Because I like your jokes. Keep them up. Be awesome. Don't listen to the haters. Can I get some advice from you? Absolutely. You want to create a character for VR chat, but you're unsure how to prepare the eyes because it's quite cartoony. Yeah. Yes. Cartoony eyes. Kuya, are you talking more like anime style, or are you talking like Frozen 2? So like eyes where the eyes are just like ginormous on the face to where basically it takes everything, or just like slightly large, very doughy type of eyes? What are you trying to create? Because if you're going the anime route, The anime route, I would say, normally when you have a face, let's bring up this head. We'll go back to layout and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So normally when you have a head, right, the head is kind of broken down into thirds. So we have a third from the chin to the bottom of the nose to the top of the eyes, and the eyes to the top of the forehead, right? And if you're doing the anime style, which you said you joined the Discord, so let me take a look at what you created and what you put in there. Something like that. Okay, so if you're gonna do something like that, here's my suggestion, right? So let me draw this out. So we have a third here to here to here to here. Let's call that, right? So from here to here is 1, 1, and 1. What I would do is if these are your normal proportions, right? If these are your normal proportions for sculpting, is your character going to be mostly a sphere? Because that's gonna change some things. But if you were trying to make like a character with a real head, what I would tell you is do something like this, right? Keep the top of the head, that's fine, and then I would move, and we'll keep the eyes basically centered. But then instead of here, let's actually switch there so I don't keep selecting things. But instead of having the second third in there, I would have the second third in like here, right? So that gives you a much bigger second third, and then you have the much smaller final third, if that makes sense. So if it's going to be completely round, though, that changes some things up. But having flatter eyes on a character isn't the hardest thing to, or it's not the worst thing ever, and definitely play around with it. But what I would do is I would create your eyes like first. I would get the eye shape down really, really early on. And then chances are with a full, with a peach type character with flat eyes, you're probably not going to have eyelids. So you don't have to worry about that, but you do need to have eye sockets a little bit, unless you just want the eyes to just like pop out of their head, which is also fine and totally doable for artistic. But basically, when you make the rig, right, you're just gonna make the rig like you would normally. So you would have you'd probably have maybe one, excuse me. You probably have maybe one